Right, let's do a bit of a show and tell what I've been up to. So I've literally been sorting out the interior of the pond. So I've got a corner piece there to facilitate the water to move around. Another one here. With the tank connectors over there, if we just zoom in, I've put them in, sanding them down, and put some extra expanding foam down. So I just wanted to show you that. So they're done. Let's just zoom back out so you can see. I put some extra sand in. I'm ready to put the underlay in. Right, here's the polyester underlay supplied by Oazi. I'm just going to put this in the pond and that should protect the liner. So I've just put some styrofoam in the bottom just to give it a bit of insulation at the bottom. You know, the pressure of the water will crush a lot of this flat, but it's a good idea to put something in the bottom just to keep it a bit warmer during those cold months. Right, just put the underlay in. This is a Oazi underlay, which isn't that cheap, but it's good stuff. So I've just used some masking tape to hold it together, and looks quite bright, almost like we've got snow in there, but it's ready for the liner to go in. Right, I've just cut out the tank connectors because we need that area clear for the liner. So I'll just show you closer up. Right, we're doing the big fill. The key to doing this is when you're putting it in, you want to work out the creases out from the centre and let the water pressure squeeze down to keep the crinkles and the creases to that side, that side, that side, that side. So essentially that's what you want to be doing while you're filling it up. So the idea here is I'm going to get it to about this level here. So there's a significant amount of water in here, pressure holding this in place. So when I start manipulating and moving the various creases we've got all the way around here, the water pressure will hold it back and allow me to work on the upper parts while the pressure at the bottom will be holding it in. As you can see, we've got a crease there, and as the water level starts to come up, I can push that in and move it up, and the water level and the water should keep it in place, and that's what we're doing with the creases. So as the water level rises, it's pushing down and keeping the creases manageable, and obviously we've got some foam underneath as well, protecting the liner as well. But yeah, it's just a matter of ironing out the actual creases as you go around, as it fills up, and that's how you try and get the creases out, using the water pressure to aid you. Is it bloody freezing? Yes, it is. As you can see, I'm freezing. But that's what you need to do to get the creases out. The challenge is going to be the upper part of where we've got the ledge. Obviously we've got the skimmer here, and I've got obviously a tank connector there and there, and another one there and another one there hidden behind the liner. However, let's just get the water in and hide these creases as much as possible. Here we are, guys. I've got the liner in this part of the pond, done the corners. There's two ways of folding it really, putting it all in the corner and try to make it sort of neat, or you can try and overlap it a bit further up, but you need to do folds further up. So the two techniques can work, it's up to personal preference. So as you can see, I've done that corner as well. Also moved a little fold there a bit over where some liners actually are seamed, because it's a lot cheaper to have lots of seams in them. So obviously I've had to move that a little bit over so I can put the tank connector there and another one about there. Obviously we've got the skimmer to sort out. That's going to be a bit more of a challenge, but I thought I'd just show you where we're at. Does it look very neat? No, but once we get water in here, it'll put pressure against it and I can sort of make it a bit more neater. But if you look at the bottom there, the main priority was to make sure we had no creases in the centre. So when I'm going to have my retro bottom drain, it'll sit flat rather than any creases interfere with it. But essentially that's where I'm at the moment, so you can get an idea where we're at. So obviously we've got our shelf here. It's a bit of a challenge, this pond, because we've got obviously a sunken area and then a shelf. So liners don't like shelves very much, especially when you're doing upbuilt ponds. So you know, that's what I'm doing at the moment. Right, so we've tacked in the liner around the skimmer, so I just need to work out where we are going to cut. So I just need to cut it a little bit. You need to be very careful that you don't cut too much. So I'm just going to take a little bit off. Right, so I put the screws in, and what happens is it pulls it in, the liner does. I did cut it a bit short here where the liner has been sealed with another piece of liner, you know, joined together, seamed. So I'm trying to be careful at that side. So basically, once you've got your screws in quite tight, just tighten them a tiny bit. So once you think you've got your liner in quite strong and it don't move, put a huge bead of silicone all the way around. That should finish that part off. One thing to note, some people have found that these leak after a period of time, and that's true, because I believe the 4 screws here, well, you can't see that in the camera, but there's 4 screws here. They come loose after a period of time, because I think what's happening is the pump is, the vibrations is loosening those screws over a period of time. So what you do is you just tighten them up now and then. They'll be loose and you just tighten them up. So tighten those screws up if you can. Right. Oh, it's a bit loose. Just tighten them up. Everything needs a good tighten. Don't go on crazy though, and that should be nice and secure and flat now, against the gasket and the liner it's sandwiched between. So again, all you do is put a bead of silicone all the way around. Some will put a silicone on the joint on the inside there as well, between the wide mouth bit and the square bit, and that's more or less how you put a skimmer in. Kockney coil skimmer into your liner. So without further ado, let's put a bit of silicone on there. Now, if some of you guys have watched a previous video that I've done about 2 or 3 years ago, where I installed one of these right here in my smaller pond, you may have noticed that I put a load of silicone on the actual gasket, and some people would complain saying that, oh, that's not how you do it. Well, the reason I did it that way was to just add extra stability to the actual gaskets, because these gaskets are known to fail. So at some point, no doubt, this gasket will fail and need replacing, or potentially just putting a load of silicone on. But I just wanted to show you how to put one on. Pretty simple really, not a big job. It's just a matter of getting in the pond and screwing it in and cutting it out. Just be careful when you cut the liner that you don't cut too much, because I think I'm very close to the limit there. So obviously I'm going to have to put a bit of silicone on there just to make sure it doesn't move and it grabs against the liner. So let's get on with siliconing that up. Right, ladies and gentlemen, so I've tightened the screws, so hopefully we'll have a strong seal. And then it's a case of putting a bit of silicone all the way around. So I have this My Pond MS300 MS polymer black 300ml My Pond. Basically it's a good silicone. So I used HA6 before, if any of you guys watched my previous video when I did this. So this is the second Kockney coil skimmer I've installed. So basically, I'm just going to do a bead of silicone. So let me just get the silicone out. Just do a bead of silicone. And if you find it's quite hard to push out, just cut the nozzle a little bit, so you can get plenty on there. So it looks a bit messy, but what I'm going to do is use my hand just to sort of smooth it out a bit. Now you can get washing up liquid to make it more smoother, but it sort of reduces the stickiness of your silicone. So I'd actually prefer not to use washing up liquid if I can. Would it make it look neater? Yes, but it might not be a solid bond. So yeah. You know, at the end of the day, it doesn't need to look neat. Just make sure you've got a solid bond on, that's all.